Alive, and some of them are businesses, some are church groups, some are just folks who are traveling through the area. We're looking to experience quite an onslaught of tourism from people from the UK, Australia, who are coming through the Edmonton area and are looking for a horsey type experience, but they're not necessarily horsey people. So what we like to do with these people is just provide them with an opportunity to work with a very large but intuitive animal, and with the use of this large intuitive animal to become a little bit more self-aware, a little more self-confident, to teach patience, and above all, we really teach people how to listen. Horses, by their very nature, are one of the world's best listeners. And they don't just listen with their ears. As you can see as I'm talking, this guy, his ears are moving all over the place. But they listen with what they smell, and they listen with what they sense, their intuitive part, what they feel. We as people, when we communicate in our world today, we are so overrun by words. Verbal communication is at the essence of everything we do. In fact, if we were to evaluate the effectiveness of our communication as people, words are only about 10% truly effective as ways of communicating. So what do we do about the other 90%? This is where stepping in beside a horse in a safe, controlled environment can really help us get in touch with that other 90%. A lot of people have social science that called it emotional intelligence. Call it what you want. It's that part of you that feels a little bit. It's that intuitive part of you that feels a little bit and you use to make decisions. It's that body language that you use. It's the intonation that you put in your voice. That's all part of the other 90%. So what I've done is I've gathered 2 guinea pigs here. It's not a very nice thing to say about people who have stepped up to come and play with the horses with us and dance with the horses. 2 folks, we're going to put them in beside the horse and just run through a little bit of what we do in one of our programs. It's very simple and it's very effective. We talk just like we're talking right now. We start off a little bit about horses. They're a prey animal. They're the best listeners because that's what's kept them alive for thousands and thousands of years in the wild. We're going to see if we can't incorporate a little bit of that ourselves to become much better in the way we communicate. The beauty of doing this with a horse, horses will never lie. So if you're communicating in a way this horse can understand, he's right with you. The second that connection is gone, this horse is gone. So these horses give us instant feedback about how we're doing. And it's honest feedback and it's safe feedback, but they let us know exactly how we're doing. It's very simple, and I'll demonstrate just a little bit, so if you folks will watch. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to ask the horses to walk. The rules here are simple. A, you do not touch the horse. It's very interesting to watch people as they approach horses, and what's one of the very first things people do? Reach out and touch them. How would you like it if someone came up to you and touched you in the face and said, "Hi, how are you?" It's like, ew, get out of my space. So for that reason, we're not going to touch the horse, and that's hard. That's really hard. The other thing we're not going to do is we're not going to look at the horse. I can see Trifon here just fine, but looking at it means I turn and stare. And there will be a time when I'll instruct these folks, okay, look at the horse, look them square in the eye, and look hard. But for the rest of the time, you don't look at this guy. So we've already taken away a dependency to touch and look. So these people are going to be forced into a situation where they have to feel what the horse is doing. So to get the horse to go, we have some very simple verbal language. And it's really not even verbal, it's a textured sound. And we use the cluck. You see, when I do that, even Trifon, he kind of perked up a little bit. Well, that'll be our signal to get the horse to walk. We're going to look for signs, and you can see as Trifon is doing right now, you can look at him now, he's chewing. When a horse chews, It's a sign of release. It's a sign of relaxation. He's saying, I'm okay with this. This feels good. I'm okay. It's always a positive when you've got a horse chewing. The other thing we'll look for is a horse to sigh. And you'll be able to see it when it happens. That's just another way of the horse saying, okay, I'm connecting with you. I'm comfortable with you. So to get him to walk, our cue is going to be a cluck, cluck, cluck. Pause a second, and then we will walk. I don't want to see this happening where we're dragging the horse along. I want to see instead, I want to see us both leaving at the same time. When we stop, you're going to look him in the eye and say, oh, it's a word, 14-letter word. First letter is H, all the rest of the letters are O. You notice it's not a sound that I'm not going to say, ho, 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 ho. I'm going to say, ho. As we say, talk Texan, talk low, talk slow. It's a slowing motion we want from the horse, so we're going to use that part of us, which will talk low, talk slow. And if we're going to walk on again, we look ahead and we both leave pretty much at the same time. When I want him to stop again, very simply, I'm going to look him in the eye. I'm going to stop and say, oh, there's no pulling of the rope necessary. If we're communicating with them correctly, then they're going to do it just like you saw Trifon do it. Austin. Good man. How old are you, Austin?
Like good.
How old are you? 13 years old. We're going to hold this rope about that far from the curled up rope in your other hand. We're not going to look at the dirt. We don't do dirt. Okay? You keep up. The horse is going to see the world through your eyes. So you're looking up and around. Good, Sydney. Just back away a bit there, Jane. So Sydney just moves, socks his head around a little bit. And I want you to get ready to walk your horse. We're just going to walk around the outside of these rings. Ready to walk and cluck, cluck, cluck. Pause and go. Good. Look straight ahead. The easiest thing to do when you're out here is we look in the dirt. Any of you who have horses, check yourselves. How many times do you lead your horse and you're looking in the dirt? The horse does see the world through your eyes. I want you folks to get ready to ask him to stop. When I say stop, you're going to look him in the eye, you're going to stop and say that 14-letter word, and stop now. Good. Rope's got a little tight. I want you to see if you can do it next time without it. We got horses chewing. Trifon is very relaxed. When you're going to ask him to trot, I want you to take up, I call it a track meet position. So you're going to be walking along, and you're going to crouch down. Now this is body language giving him the indication, okay, we're getting ready to go. And then I want you to cluck 4 or 5 times with gusto and energy and allow him to be trotting with you rather than you pulling him along. If you do it, build the energy, he'll go with you. So let's walk on. Cluck first. Good, good. Sydney, you can walk with him. I just want one horse to trot at a time. Get ready to trot, Austin. Track meet position. Pick up the energy. Walk faster. Walk faster. Cluck, 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 cluck. Don't look at him. Don't look at him. Go, 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 go. You got to run a little faster, a little more energy in your cluck. There you go. Right on. Get in sync with him now, Austin. Come with some energy. Come with some energy. There we go. Get your hand out there, Austin. Let's ask him to walk. Very good. Ask him to stop. Round of applause for Austin and Trifon. That's great. So those are the kind of things we do to get people in the groove. And usually it's an energy building experience. The energy builds and it builds. It brings out all kinds of fears and emotions that a lot of people never realized they had. And it's only the horse that seems to be able to do that. On the other hand, if one can get to the point where you can focus and concentrate on the horse, what a release. What a beautiful way to get a perfect diversion on life, to be able to create a partnership with one of these critters they're so intuitive and they can be such great friends. That's just a little bit, a Mattel version of Equus Alive.